or good afternoon, good night, good middle of the night, whatever it happens to be. Um, so I am Eric Anderson. I am the co-founder and CCO, Chief Customer Officer of Storytell. And yeah, can't wait to show with you what we're building, what we're doing. Want to know where are you joining from? How did you find out about the webinar? What is it that you would like to get out of it? How are you using AI right now? So all of that. And I will just go ahead and get started. So what is Storytell? Um, Storytell is a B2B platform that enhances your workflows. So we're transforming AI tooling into better outcomes for knowledge workers in enterprise. And there we go. Um, and so we're really excited about sharing with you today how you can do this with technical writing. And there's a whole flow here that I'll speak to in just a moment. So this is another way, just to go a little deeper. What is Storytell? What are we about, etc. Um, so we have a proprietary Distill AI algorithm because in this period of generative AI, there's so much more noise, right? We can create a lot and the world gets very, very noisy and want to distill it down into signal. So what is signal for you? And so not only is this great for individuals, but also for cross-functional teams. Again, to get their jobs done more effectively than you would on your own. And so that is why we're here. And that is why we've built this. So welcome, 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 Nick, Jackie, Suraj, and yes, would just love to hear from you. So just to give you a sense of where are we headed and what can Smart Chat do? How does it work exactly? Well, you essentially get to scope the level of knowledge so that you are choosing the subset of the universe that you want to interact with. So you're creating dynamic data containers, very sexy term, obviously, but you're choosing just how much you want to interact with and have this interactive relationship with your data as opposed to it being something static that you just have to read piece by piece. And then you can build workflows based on that. And I'll show you what that looks like in terms of tags and groups in Smart Chat. And we use, our Distill AI platform in order to interact with this knowledge. And you can always validate the responses that you're getting by going back to what we call story tiles, or essentially citations. And what does this do? What's an impact of using Smart Chat with your team is that it can break down silos. We all have access to the same level of knowledge and we can all work with it and create from it whatever we need or want. Great. And so on we go. And so I'll just do a few slides here, and then we're just going to jump into demoing the platform itself and really invite your questions as we do so. Okay, so without AI, what happens? How do we build products? So I'm just going to focus on a particular example with technical writing. And so product has an idea. They have, a product requirements doc they've given to engineering. In a early stage startup like ours, it might be a pretty limited one. Like, here's the ask, here's the direction. And then engineering builds. Okay, engineering is built. Then what? Well, we need to tell at least the company, if not the world. So they're going to do some kind of demo. Maybe it's a sprint demo. And that's perhaps to the whole crew. Maybe it's just a screencast video they're making on their own and sending that to the technical writer. And then what happens? Well, you got to figure out how to share with the world that you've released these new features. Is that going to come right from the engineer? Not really. Will it come right from the technical writer? Not usually, right? So that's going to support the technical documentation, but it's different language, it's different content than what you're creating for marketing, what sales needs, what all the stakeholders need, right? So in any startup, the engine of the business are the engineers. They're the furnace, they're the builders. And without them, you don't really have a company. And then you've got to get it out into the world. Hey, this is what we're doing. So right now, kind of a messy process. How fast, for anyone that's been at a startup, how fast is the pipeline from something got built to the world knows about it and all the ways they need to know? How fast has that been? I'm guessing that it's weeks, if not months, if ever. Lots of things like, oh, we're just building in the dark. And so we really believe in building in public. So we're actually going to be showing you our own documentation and how we go about creating it. So this is what it looks like with Smart Chat as it exists today. Much smoother process that we're taking the demos engineers are doing and turning into all of this content pretty much step after step after step. So it can be a one-day process of it was built and the world knows about it. So that can all happen in a 24-hour period. And then there's more coming. So we'll get into the demo a little bit later, but just wanted to show you what's happening there. Looks like I have the beach ball of death. Sorry about that. There we go. And we have recovered. Great. So we're going to go into the Smart Chat platform right now. And I am signed into a Storytell account here. So you're going to be looking at how we manage it in our own workspace. And so just to orient folks, we've got, this is where you're actually doing the chatting. This is the Smart Chat. You're uploading files, tagging them to organize them. And then if you want to have many tags together and save them, then you'd have a group. So, right, I was searching up here for this tag, but so here's different groups. So we actually even uploaded all of our security processes to understand how to answer a bunch of SOC 2 questions as we go through that compliance framework. So we've got all sorts of groups and tags here so we can search. And then what is the difference between all my knowledge and world's knowledge? Well, all my knowledge is everything that you've uploaded. So if you're interacting here, then it's with every single file. So it's accessing, Storytell is accessing a lot on your behalf in that case. And then over here, and I definitely want to show you this. It's a hot new shiny thing. So then we also have your content manager. So again, groups and tags here, and then you can actually look at the content here. And we'll go into that in a moment. I didn't tell you about world's knowledge. So world's knowledge is essentially, hey, you can use this just like you would ChatGPT. So you're just interacting with everything that the large language model has been trained on, as opposed to anything that you've uploaded. So this is just, we're trying to create this, separation between church and state. So you really have ultimate choice about what you're interacting with. Okay, so what's going on here? Well, all of us at Storytell have been magically upgraded to being team users. So a few months back, we introduced pricing into Storytell. And when you have access to team, one, you can interact with anyone in your organization. So you can go to organizational view, or you can go back to your own view. But essentially, you'll get to interact with anything that folks have uploaded to the org that has the right permissions. And I'll show you that in a moment. You can also use, these are the most powerful LLMs currently that have been released. And so they are available in our product for a team subscription. So that's another aspect of that. And GPT-4 Turbo is available in a pro subscription. So in order, I will show you access, but I just want to do that with the content that we're working with. And then also leaving space. You're welcome to ask questions at any time. So here's, I think, Angela, everyone should have access to this document. And so if you could just pop that in chat. So this is our working document for this session. And these are some of the tags that we're working with. So we've got all sorts of product demos, because guess what? Every time that we do a demo, we upload it to YouTube. Again, this is our building in public approach. And so, for instance, how to sort tags. So I can go to that, and these are a bunch of different prompts. So how we're starting with, you know what? The engineer has made a demo. Now I need to write technical documentation. How am I going to do that? Okay, so this is great here. So I'm going to look for how to sort tags, right? And I've got chat history here because I've been playing around with this. And then what is this? This is the question library. So everything that's in purple here, this is the question library. So these are all the default questions that are loaded up into Storytell, and anything that you add just by hitting new, naming the question, and then adding in here, that these are the pink ones that I've added. So for instance, here is the prompt that's in that working session doc. So, and what's in this? So let's be really clear about what we're starting with. So I'm just going to click on that to understand what's in it. Okay, and also you can rearrange the screen if you want more screen real estate here. And okay, so I'm going to view, and got it. So that's the name of this file. And that I uploaded this video. Here's the executive. Well, first, I could just chat directly with that. So what's the difference between chatting with a file versus a tag? In a tag, it will save your chat history. And now this is the access that I was speaking to. So anyone with the link can access this. Why did I choose that? Well, I'll show you in a second because it's available to anyone on YouTube. So why would I shut it down in Smart Chat? I don't have a good reason to do that, so I'm not going to. So that means also if I chose only my org, so that means still if I go to organizational view here, anyone in my organization can also chat with it. The same is true if it's anyone with the link. Whereas if I said just me, which looks like that, only I can chat with it. Okay, here's are the tags that are associated with this. These are AI generated concepts. So those are often helpful too, just to describe what it is. And then here again, I can play around with the sizing of this. So what's the executive summary of this document? And then the original content itself. Oh, I can go back to the original content. Let's look and see what that is. So YouTube is gonna, autoplay here. And this is from an Eng demo 5 months ago, right? As we were building this and building this different view, right? The organizational view. So that's what's going on. You can always go back. What am I interacting with? What is that? Okay, so we've seen all that. We understand what we're interacting with. And now I want to go back and chat with the tag. Okay, so here I am in the tag, and I'm going to go back to this technical documentation prompt. And I think this can get us into a little bit of good prompt, bad prompt. Sometimes really short prompts can get you there, write a blog, and often it's got to be a little bit clearer than that. So what am I doing here in this prompt? I'm letting the LLM know what we're interacting with. And then also with the writing the technical documentation, like, okay, what are we doing? What's the output I want out of this? And also, I'm just aware, maybe, I wonder if you can see me. Okay, ta-da, here I am. So yeah, this is really important. So technical documentation is almost like writing a contract with your user. So you don't want to play it up. At least that's That's our approach. I have a pretty hard line on no marketing language, and I've heard other technical writers say the same. For instance, at our most recent user day, a technical writer was saying just that. So just state things plainly as they are and explain how they work. I'm sure you've experienced how things can be really and very much like marketing language all the time. We start to understand AI speak, and we don't want that. So, okay, we saw this was one video, and what is it? Like we want to know about the technical documentation itself. And just to be super, super clear, let's open this up here and make me smaller. Awesome. Welcome, Jackie from Charlotte, North Carolina. Great to have you here. So this is what we have. Looking at a tag sorting, here's a short introduction. And it's really straightforward and to the point. So it might not have a lot of personality. Maybe you want to write something that does. And so you could do it again. So like you change your mind, write this again, but with a fun personality. So that's something that any AI that you're interacting with, anytime that you're chatting, right? You can say, actually, let's use this. Like, let's go in this direction. Let's go deeper. Let's get more concise. So whether you want to zoom in, zoom out, move in a different direction, you always have that option. Okay, right? So that's pretty different than the initial approach. Okay, so we've started with the technical, and I'm just going to scroll up. I was playing around with this earlier. So this is what we have around capabilities, benefits, and key points for marketing and sales. So I would say just capabilities and benefits. So here's the thing, it does maintain state. So responses are going to be affected by what you just did. And so here, introduction, tag sorting. So write the technical documentation. Again, this time plainly. Start with an intro, capabilities and benefits to users. Okay, so I want something a little bit more like what I'd already seen. Okay, great. So super straightforward. So that's probably good enough for a first draft for a technical writer. But how do we move along on that slide that I showed? So we created the technical documentation, and now it's got to get out to the world. And this is just one way, but there have to be many avenues. Okay, so what have we done here? So do you see how I'm clicking on this purple book in order to open up the question library? Okay, so I want to write a blog based on this technical documentation. And this is a pretty simple prompt, right? So take what you just got and write a blog for our marketing department to inform the world about our new features and thank the users whose feedback helped to build them or, inspire them to be built. So I have not spoken to you. What are these blue things? What are we linking to? These are citations or story tiles. And this is what is always going to take you back to the source. So the validate and trust step that I showed in the slideshow. So let's just click on one of those. So where is that coming from? So here's one thing, we've got visual story tiles. So if you're uploading a video, like in this case, this is a YouTube, then you can go into this, okay, we're talking about the ability to sort tags. So it'll take you exactly to where in the video.
Okay, the next one I'll show is
they're talking about it.
These the ability to sort your tags here.
Great. So it's taking us exactly to the point we want to go. So like we said, citations or references, so you can see, is this hallucinating? Is this real? Can I trust this? And, the answer should always be yes. We also, whenever you hover over the bottom of a chat, you can make it into a nicer formatting by clicking on this. You can take it back. You can say, I don't want to see the citations. Oh, I want to download this as a PDF, or I want to copy it. It won't copy the citations. Oh, I think that was a good response, or there's something not quite right about that response. So I say, great, that was good. Okay. So we've got this blog, right? So this is pretty different than your technical documentation. Tag sorting tailored to your needs, etc. And then is it actually thanking users? I happen to know there's a specific user who should be thanked here. Okay, name the specific user who inspired us to build this feature. Right? You're usually going to know something about the content. Okay, Stephen, that's correct. So write the blog again, including a shout out to Stephen and the big thank you paragraph. And am I doing some typos? I totally am. Does the LLM care? Nope, doesn't. Not at all. Oh, great. Happy to hear, Nick, that you're getting value out of the prompt marketplace. So all these prompts that we're using in our webinars, we're sharing with you because prompting is its own science. All right. Did Storytell do exactly what I asked? It absolutely did. That is and totally true. Stephen has been a power user, giving us a lot of feedback and reasons to build in his direction. One of many, of course, but that particular feature, that was something that he inspired. Okay, so we've got the marketing blog. Now what? Well, let's see. How about we need to bring this out into social media, right? So that's another way to get out in the world. There's more that we're going to do with sales and marketing, but we can come back to that. So has anyone here ever played Mad Libs? It's a game where you have all these types of words you have to insert into a sentence, blindly. And I don't know, we found it very funny. And so these prompts, or this prompt is a little bit like that, right? So I'm going to drop this in. So what is this? So this is a way to engage audiences on social media based on a specific blog, right? And so I have a little bit of work to do. So I'm going to say about sorting tags. And here looks like I need to summarize the key points. So I'm actually going to just cut this for now and say, summarize the top 3 key points from the blog, right? Because I'm going to need that for my next prompt. I'm just wondering, how do y'all feel about prompting? Do you feel like you've gotten some, are you saving your prompts? Have you gotten to some like wow prompts that give you what you want every time? Would just absolutely love to hear from you. Not just here to listen to myself as fun as that may be. So yeah, would love to know how you're finding the prompting journey. And for sure, the LLMs are getting, the models are getting better as well. Okay, so we've got the top 3 points. So I'm going to copy this. Well, actually, I'm going to do 2 things. So first, I'll copy this, and then I'll come back, drop this in here. And now I've got a little bit of, cutting and pasting to do. So I'll do that here. I just did the copy here because I didn't want to get all the story tiles. And then we've got the title of the blog. Go up here. Okay, here we are, insert blog title. And it doesn't really matter whether I take that out or not. And then this is where I'd said sorting tags. Great, we've got the title in here. I also need to say the audience. So tech enthusiasts, professionals in AI, and anyone interested in AI. And then we've got, okay, for Facebook, do this. For Twitter, do that. For LinkedIn, do that. And Twitter or slash, X, etc. But I think a lot of us know it as Twitter. All right, so let's see what happens here. Say goodbye to chat chaos. So it's a whole journey, right? And it's not really great, like a great play to do the exact same content on all the different platforms. You want to be specific to the platform. So Storytell is great for that. So we've gone from, so what's the journey we've been on? We have this Eng demo. We have created technical documentation. Let's see. Okay. I think this is going back into where I was playing around. But regardless, we've got the documentation. We've got a blog about the documentation. And now, dun, 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 we have social media about the documentation. So just would love, yeah. Would love to know what you think of this. And yes, Suraj, we will always have a free version. So that's using GPT 3.5. So it doesn't give you quite the same results as GPT-4, but yeah, we really want our product to serve everyone. And so that's one way that we do that. Okay, so we've got the kind of more marketing language here for social media. Now, what about sales and marketing? What about internal to the company? So are they going to go and read the technical documentation? Probably not. So what can we do there? Let's say that I always, whenever I am creating documentation, I also want, let's see, blog post. I wonder if I took a prompt away. I got it right here. So I will go back and I will actually add this if I don't have it. So, no, I have it in here already. Marketing and sales one pager. So using the technical documentation, so inform marketing and sales, what we've done here, right? So you really have to know your audience and speak in their language. Okay, so this is a letter. I didn't specify the format. In fact, I could say that, it is a one pager. If you ever wanted to stop answering, you're like, no, I'm good. Just click here. I'm not hating this, so it's fine. So just say like, rewrite as a one pager with a table and bullet points. Now, if you wanted to create a table, you can specify what's in what column, what's in what row, and it's just going to look a little funky while it's being printed, like while we see the response being generated. And then we can change the formatting so that it looks nicer. This is a formatting language called Markdown. You might be familiar with it, and you might not. And that's what we're using here in order to create a more readable one pager here for marketing and sales. So we got all of that, and then, but wait, there's more. I don't know how much prompting you want to see me do, but okay. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do this for something else, but just want to see, is the prompt in the prompt library? Okay, that's a good question. So Nick, are you asking like the prompts that I've just put here, like are they in the default prompt library? I think that's maybe what you're asking. And the answer right now is no. They're in the prompt. I think, Angela, you'll be updating the prompt marketplace so that it has all of these prompts. How our product works right now is that these are the default prompts. And then anything else you want to add to it, you can. But Nick, I think what I'm hearing you say is, oh, I'm finding these particular prompts valuable, and I'd like you to add them to the default prompts. So Nick, let me know if I am getting that right. Okay, I'm going to kind of clear the deck here by going to all my knowledge. Great, yes. Yes, you can write to add to the default prompts on our end. Totally. Yes, we will work on that. Thank you. We want feedback. I think that's how we, interact with the world and respond to the world. So, demo, I wanted to show you where we are headed with our product. So there's been, great enthusiasm about Smart Chat and just giving you the ability to, restrict, constrain exactly what you're interacting with. And you could have, you think of Venn diagram or concentric circles of how much or how little you want to interact with, or Russian nesting dolls, etc. So let's go back to what am I interacting with? So these are all, oh, right, these are all the product demos. So I actually want to go, it's good I did that because I want to look at something different, which is, I think this one. So where we're headed in a product. Okay, right now I've got two different things selected. I don't want to keep them. So I'm just going to go to all my knowledge to clear out. And now I will just be interacting with this. And again, what am I interacting with? It's just one file. What is that file? It's available to anyone with the link. And then in terms of actually seeing what that content is, view source content, can do that right here. And this is a video. So this is the product demo that we did a few weeks back, as you can see. But do I have time to watch the 10-minute video? Maybe I don't. So, or maybe I need to create something from that video, right? So there's just all this communication that we have to do internally and externally. So most of us are content generators in some way in our work. I'm going to go back and chat with this tag. The link to use GPT-4, Angela has dropped in the link for pricing. And so I'll just show you, Suraj, where that takes you to. And so this is for GPT-4, that's 20 a month and then US dollars. And in order to purchase it, you sign in to the app versus this. This is what is available in the free version. So here's how to use GPT-4. Just go from there. So let me know if there's anything about that that's not clear. Okay, so our product roadmap. This is something that maybe sales needs to make some kind of presentation about, right? So I know I talked about technical writing, and really I think what we're talking about is that whole pipeline. I've built something. So whether you have a startup, whether it's tech or something else, you are creating things, you are launching things. So what is that timeline of, hey, we're building this or we're working on it, we're designing it, to letting the world know, getting feedback and going back out. So it really speeds up that timeline. Okay, so what's happening here? So this is, you're using persona. So that's another aspect of a good prompt. Who are you? What are you trying to do here? And who is this for? And so showcase sales performance. So, this demo doesn't really show sales performance. So showcase the features of our latest product release, showing where we're headed as a company. Okay, so it's much more a seamless experience with Smart Chat, a lot less to learn. And also we could try something out. So I'm going to do this response in GPT-4, and then let's try it out in Opus and see what happens. So again, think about the tyranny of the blank page, as some people call it. You don't have to have that anymore. So you can always start brainstorming in Storytell. And like just getting an outline for a presentation is a really solid start for that. So here we go. Sales is talking to the organization about what they can do. Okay. Great. So there you go. And let's try it again. I'll do the same question, and here's another pro tip. You can just use the question here, right? So that's what I just asked. I'll drop it again. So trying to save you from copying and pasting. And maybe with this, I mean, I think Anthropic's Claude is really great with long form material. So we could try that instead and work on the blog post. So this, yeah, write a blog about Storytell's new direction and be creative in your approach. All right, so I wouldn't say that's an amazing prompt. I would look at that as a starting point, but really want to just open it up for questions. How do you want to use Storytell? Where are you getting stuck? What do you need, etc.? So here for you. And thank you so much for attending. Okay, imagine a scenario, right? So this is just from the demo. It was about MBRs. Streamline it. Okay, make it a breeze, not amazing language, but that doesn't matter because you can always ask for something to be different, for things to be improved. What direction do you want to move in? So yeah, would love your feedback. What do you want us to host webinars on? How are you using Storytell? How do you want to use it? Please let us know. Yep. Thank you, Jackie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Nick. Awesome to have you here. And I think, let's see, I think we'll just drop off now, but please go ahead and give us feedback and we'll be reaching out, just asking you for what you'd like. What direction would you like to see us go in on these webinars?